Hi, good morning. Welcome to a new week. And today and for the rest of the week, we'll be talking about logistics management and how important logistics is to businesses of the 21st century. The fourth industrial revolution, everything is fast paced, things are moving. How do you make sure that you are not left out in all of those movements? How do you ensure that your goods, your product gets to the final consumer at the shortest possible time? Because everybody wants things fast, especially if you live in a place like Lagos, Port Harcourt, Abuja, London, New York. Everything needs to be fast, and that's the world we live in. So how do you coordinate all of the logistics process to ensure that you capture all of this? The first thing you need to understand is that logistics is a function of your business. So there are two different logistic functions that happens in your business. The first is the input logistics. That's looking at the suppliers and trying to do procurement, things that are going to ensure that your production happens. Then we have the output logistics. That's things that carries your products, which of course is finished from production to the market. So those two important parts of logistics are very important. Logistics encompasses the planning, implementation, and control of the movement and storage of goods, services, and information from one point of origin to a point of consumption. Its significance in business lies in its ability to streamline operations, reduce costs, enhance customer satisfaction, and ultimately contribute to overall business growth. Logistics involves the coordination of activities such as procurement, production, warehousing, transportation, inventory management, and distribution that ensures that this product gets to the right person at the right place at the right time, and most importantly at the right condition at the right cost. In the definition I made just now, there are some key components that stood out. The first is procurement, the second production, then we have warehousing, transportation, and distribution. The definition I made just now, there are 6 components that stood out. The first is procurement, we have production, we have warehousing, we have inventory management, we have distribution, and we have transportation. Now let's define each of them. Procurement means sourcing raw materials from suppliers or from their sources. Let's define each of those components. The first is procurement, and this involves the purchase of raw materials from the suppliers or from the sources. The next is production, and this is the conversion of raw material into finished products. The next is inventory management, and this is the control of raw materials in your stock. It means that how do you ensure that you keep on having supplies in terms of raw materials that will keep helping you produce? That is inventory management. The next is warehousing. The things you produce or even the raw materials you bring into your business, you need to store them in a particular place. It doesn't have to be a very big space, it can be a small space. But as far as the place used for storing of raw materials or finished product, then it's a warehouse. And then we have transportation. This is the movement of products or raw materials from a particular point to the other. Then we have distribution, which ensures that these products that you have created gets to the right person at the right place at the right time at the right cost in the right condition. Now let's take a look at the processes involved in logistics. I'll refer to them as PEMO. That's my own abbreviation. The P stands for planning, the E stands for execution, the M stands for monitoring, and the O stands for optimization. Now let's take a look at each of them. When you look at planning, it means strategizing, putting your pen to paper. If there's one thing you've learned in this class, you must learn how to put your pen to paper, how to jot down proper strategies for every movement. When you are strategizing, the first thing you need to look at is demand forecasting. Now, when you talk about demand forecasting, you're looking at how the pattern of which people buy your products or which the supplies are available. For example, if it's a food product that comes, of course, from an agricultural farm or agricultural supplies, you know that there's a particular season that this food product is always in high demand. And there's also a particular season where the suppliers have these things in bulk, and some seasons that is very scarce and expensive. So what do you do as a producer? The first thing to do is to analyze, when do people ask for these products? A lot. So I need to up my production capacity in this particular period. Maybe hire more ad hoc staff, maybe increase production output. Those things are things you need to capture, be able to analyze your production and produce to suit the demand. And likewise, from the supply side, you also need to check and say, okay, this particular product is scarce in between January and March, so I need to make this purchase between November and December so that I can store it and keep for the times ahead. That is how it produces things. Just reflect on this and apply it to your business as necessary. The next is route optimization. If you're going to make a delivery, you need to ensure that you plan your routes properly. Take for example, you're coming from the island, from Aja, and you want to deliver to someone in Lekki, someone in Yaba, someone in Yanopaja, someone in maybe Surulere, someone in Oyigbo, someone in Badagry. If you're going to do that, you must plan your route properly such that you move from one point to the other efficiently, not that you are going from one far distance end to the other end. Then you start, so it has to be properly planned. Take for example, when you are coming from Aja, you move on to Lekki, you drop your product at Lekki, the next stop is Yaba. Now if you are coming from Aja and you are going to Yaba, you are going to Lekki, you are going to Badagry, Surulere, Yanopaja, and I don't know any other places. So what you can do is to first drop at Lekki. Then your next stop, after you just come down from the third land bridge, is Yaba. And from Yaba, you can move on to Surulere because they're close. And from Surulere, you can move to Yanopaja. From Yanopaja, then you can go straight to Badagry. However, if you go from Aja to Badagry, the far distance end, there will be a problem. And if you are factoring your movement, you need to factor in traffic periods. So if you are moving from Aja in the morning to Lekki, there will be traffic very early. So what do? You can hold on till like 10 a.m. when the traffic has subsided, then move straight to Lekki. It will take you like 20 minutes at the maximum. From Lekki to Yaba at that time is another 20-25 minutes. From Yaba to Surulere shouldn't take you more than 15 minutes, 20 minutes. From Surulere to Yanopaja, that could take up to 45 minutes. From Yanopaja to Badagry, then maybe like an hour or an hour and a half at that time. And when you are coming back, you are coming at a very good time when there won't be traffic. People are returning to the mainland. So that's the proper route optimization. So if you don't plan that thing properly, you have issues with your drivers, your riders, you have issues with your customers and with your delivery itinerary. Then the next is resource allocation. Resources can be human, it can be monetary. So your resource in terms of human, monetary, and every other kind of resource needs to be planned properly. What resource should go to production? What should go to warehousing? How important is this? Can we remove this from the list? Can we add this? All of those things is done in planning, and that's why you must plan as a business owner.